Look, sweetheart, if Phil comes in here in the same condition he was in yesterday, I'm going to have my hands full down here. So Lacey, you just do it, okay? Just do it. Okay.
What's the trouble, Ben?
Don't ask. Hey, after yesterday's fiasco, our guests are just canceling out on us right and left.
Was it that bad?
Yes, it was that bad. We're okay for today, but tomorrow's a mess. If Phil comes in drunk again, we can just kiss next week goodbye.
You mean there's an opening for a guest on tomorrow's show?
Yeah, you bet your life there is.
Well, why don't you tell me that when I was at the coop?
What are you doing?
I'm getting you a guest.
What kind of guest?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Carrington. This is Billy Joe Wright.
Yeah.
How fast can you get a hold of Paige?
Well, I think she's at the boutique. Why?
Because I got an opening for her on the Phil Roberts show.
Look, Paige, I know this is a bad time, but could you possibly come by the studio this morning?
Oh, Elliot, I really don't think I can. I spent all day yesterday trying to work out meetings with charities, and right now I'm waiting on calls from two. Junior League and the Hospital Ships International.
Well, I know that's important, but this is important, too.
Well, I suppose I could have Nita come back from the shop and handle the calls if necessary. Why? What's so important?
Well, do you remember I spoke to Billy Joe about the possibility of you going on the Phil Roberts show?
Yes.
Well, there's been a cancellation, and they want you on the show tomorrow.
Are you sure that the Paige Carrington's going to be all right on the show, Billy Joe?
Sure, she'll be terrific.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that before.
Look, in the first place, she's gorgeous.
Well, that doesn't always go over so well with our ladies in the studio.
Yeah, but Mrs. Carrington's got class, too.
Well, heaven knows we need a little bit of that around here.
Yeah, and on top of class and beauty, she's got also
all
a lot
right,
of...
all right. You can save the also. I'm sold. Just get a hold of her. Anyway, it'll make Elliot happy.
Look, I'm going to go on down to Mr. Carrington's office. Meet me there when you can, and I'll introduce you to Paige, all right?
Okay, Billy Joe.
Good morning, Mr. Roberts.
You're wearing a hole in the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elliot. All of this has me very nervous.
I don't know why in the world it should. All you have to do is be yourself.
Be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Easy for you to say. You're not the one sitting in that chair facing those cameras.
Those cameras are gonna love you, kid.
Where's Billy Joe? What's taking him so long?
He went down the hall to tell the producer you're here. Paige, you're making me crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elliot. I'm going to try to be calm now. Maybe we should talk about something else. How's Dennis?
He's fine. When I went to see him yesterday, he was having a fierce game of backgammon with one of the student nurses. I thought the fact that he was feeling competitive was a very good sign.
Is he still depressed?
Well, he still has his low moments, but who doesn't?
Hey, Miss Carrington.
Oh, hi, Billy Joe.
Ben will be here in a minute.
Great. How do I look?
Just like always, terrific.
See? Told you have nothing to worry about. You're surrounded by fans.
Will you two stop it? I've never been on a talk show before. I just don't know if I can do it.
Well, sure you can. It's easy.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling it's easy until you... It's one of those things that's easy until you try it.
No, look. I mean, if somebody like me can do it, anybody can.
I don't have the slightest idea what to say, Billy Joe.
You don't have to worry about a thing now. Phil Roberts and me will ask all the questions, and you just answer them.
Yeah, but shouldn't I say something to try to sell the boutique?
Oh, no. Well, that's one thing you mustn't do. The worst thing, matter of fact, the biggest mistake people do is when they push things. So all you gotta do is just sit there and look pretty.
That should be a snap.
Yeah, but what if the producer doesn't like me?
He loves you already. I told him everything he needs to know.
You're sure?
Absolutely. Will you just calm down and leave everything up to old Billy Joe? We're gonna have that boutique of yours packed to the rafters with the fanciest people in Houston. You just wait and see.
Well, Mrs. Carrington, it's been very nice meeting you. Unless you have any more questions, I guess I'll see you tomorrow, about an hour before the show.
Great. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks, Ben.
Sure, Billy Joe.
Well, was I all right?
You passed inspection with flying colors.
See, I knew he'd like you.
Oh, thank you, Billy Joe.
Hey, don't thank me. It's the least I can do. I mean, after what you've done for Nita and... Hey, I guess I better get back to the studio then, huh?
Oh, thanks again.
Hey, don't thank me. Thank Mr. Carrington. I mean, it was all his idea. And if you want to know the truth, you're helping us all out of a big jam.
Well, it's nice of you to say that.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye. Billy Joe is right. I do want to thank you, Elliot.
Well, if the boutique is a success, that's all the thanks I'll need.
Do you really think being on the Phil Roberts show is going to bring in customers?
Well, I don't know. The ratings have certainly soared since Ricky and Billy Joe came on the show. I imagine there's a lot of people out there who'll be interested to know how a high-fashion boutique works.
Yes, but the important question is, are they going to be interested enough to spend their money?
I think they will.
Well, I better get back to the hotel, see how Nita's doing with those charities.
Have any of them agreed to sponsor the opening?
No, not yet. They all seem to have chain of commands that stretch on forever. A co-chairman has to talk to the chairman, who has to talk to the board, et cetera, et
It's the
cetera.
wonderful world of committees.
Frankly, I'm not really sure that they're worth the trouble.
Well, they are if they bring in the type of people you want.
After my little run-in with the tasteful Mrs. Oliver, I'm not really sure the committee ladies are what I want, especially if they're friends of Iris Wheeler.
You know, Paige, despite what Iris thinks, her power is really very limited. There's a whole world out there who couldn't care less what Iris says or does. Even so, I think the charity route is worth pursuing.
Elliot,
What?
would you... Never mind.
What? What is it?
I was wondering if you wanted to have dinner this evening.
I don't think that's a very good idea, Paige.
Okay.
I
understand. Well, then I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Fine. So long.
Bye-bye.
How do you feel?
I am a very nervous person, Elliot.
Well, I think that's natural. This is your first time on television.
Last night I dreamed that they asked me the first question, and I opened my mouth and nothing came out.
Well, that's the performer's nightmare, but it rarely happens.
Oh, I wish I'd had a chance to talk to Phil about the boutique beforehand.
Well, unfortunately, there isn't time. Anyway, he likes spontaneous, off-the-cuff discussions.
Oh.
Don't worry. Everything's going to be all right.
I don't know. Phil Roberts has a reputation for going after people
Yeah, well, that's
sometimes.
not going to happen because Billy Joe is going to be sitting right there next to you.
How about those little potatoes with parsley and butter?
Those are frozen potatoes. Vivi.
Well, who will know?
I will know. Has Lacey gone to the station?
Yep,
Will she be back for dinner?
probably not. Things are a little hectic at the studio these days.
Oh, I hope she isn't being overworked.
Well, apparently, Mr. Phil Roberts has been acting kind of bonkers lately.
What do you mean, bonkers?
He's very unhappy with Billy Joe Wright. He thinks Billy Joe's trying to take over his show.
Oh, I hope Lacey doesn't become involved in any political intrigue. It's so distasteful.
Lacey told me who's going to be on the show this afternoon. You might be interested.
Oh, I don't think so. I like Mr. Roberts, but his guests are things like dancing fleas.
Paige Carrington's going to be a guest.
Paige?